how to draw a ball python. So today we're looking at the ball python. I was lucky enough to have a look at one at St. Louis. Here's one on Lady Jennifer's hand. It's a beautiful African species, not too big, very popular in the pet trade. Get out your pencils and paper. Let's have a go at drawing this guy. Okay, let's draw a ball python. Now, I'm going to just do some rough of a ball shape there, I guess, with a curve coming off like this. So the head's going to be here. Bit of an oval, bit of a curve there, and this guy sort of got himself all up in a coil ball. So now those are the first rough little shapes. So you've got that shape, you've got a shape like that going through, one like that. We're going to have this going underneath one of the coils. And this little tail's going to be out there, so let's refine that tail a little bit. He's got a bit of a skinny neck. And the head, which we're going to work on a bit here. Make that just a little bit pointier there. Like so. Now I'm going to put some guidelines in for some of the patterns that we're going to put in here. First of all, up here we're going to work out where his spine would be. Going up there, probably across here, around like that. And here, his spine's probably going to go around like that. I find it helpful to put the spine in. And here, where it's taking that sharp corner, I'm just going to do a few guidelines like this. Going to help us with our putting our patterns in. Same here, just very gentle. Probably rub those lines out after a while. Probably the same here. See how that sort of goes around like that. Okay, if we've got that, next it's time to work out a kind of a rough pattern. So they have these sort of blobby patterns, just where it's all sort of coming together like that. It's going to be like little, almost like teardrops or droplets coming through. I'm making those close because that's going to be dark in there. So I'm working out where the light patches are going to be. Bit of a blob in there. Don't worry if it's not perfect. We don't want it perfect. They're all sort of different. Each snake's a bit different. So here, it's going a bit like that. Maybe a bit like that. And a bit like that. They're going to be the light colours. It's going to be the dark colour. Let's put a bit of a pattern like this here. Another one here. So I'm making blobs. Damn truck out there. So I'm making big blobs here, so I'm leaving those bits which are going to be dark, but we're not going to shade them in just yet. So another blobby bit there, blobby bit there. And these ones are sort of going around the corner. that spine there. So yeah, once again this wants to go like this, almost making like those funny, almost like a teardrop shape. I'll put blob in each one of those. So remember, the good thing about this is we really don't want perfect. We want sort of a bit rough and blobby. And because every snake's different, like a fingerprint, it doesn't matter if it's not exactly right. Here on the tail, I'm not putting the bits in the center there. So that coil's going under this one and out the other side here. So let's do probably like that, sort of like an American copperhead, hourglass shapes, but wonky and wobbly. Dot, dot, dot. Almost there with the pattern. Get this pattern out of the way, then we can start the shading, and that's where the fun comes in. Up there. Now if I go too fast, just pause the video and catch up. Little blob there, little dot there. See, the blobs are starting to get a bit smaller as we go. We might make some long thinner bits here. Now the head. So I'm going to pop in an eye. There. From that eye is going to be a dark patch coming back. I'll just shade that a little bit so I know where I'm at. We're going to give him a bit of a mouth. Might shorten his face a little bit there, made it a bit long there. So this has got a little bit of a bend that way. Spine there, it comes out like that. And that, to give it that sort of those bumps at the back of their head for the python look. Okay. Now, this is where it's going to look cool, is if you get the shading right. Imagine the sun's here, the sun is shining down like this, so it's lighting up this side and this side's in shadow. Okay, so here we go. This side of him is in shadow. We're going to shade this in up to where we've sort of drawn that rough spine. Shade that in real good. Sun's coming down here, it's just sort of a little bit on those, but then it's going shadow under here. So, starting to get the idea. So if the sun's shining here, might be shining on top of there, here will be in shade. So when you're shading, I'm not pressing too hard, I'm just kind of like really roughly colouring in. Sometimes you'll find with drawing, rough is good. It's good to be rough. Now there's that spine there. So I'm going past that and Here, this bit's going to be in light, so it's a bit of a swap over here. So it's dark there, it's dark on the inner here, and here it's starting to catch the light. You see where I've put the spine there? So, darken in there. Like so. Right, now we're going to press really heavy. We're going to do a nice solid line there. See, I don't do it careful, I just do it fairly quick. Heavy line there. Heavy line here. Nice heavy line here. To about there, then not so heavy. Have a heavy line there. Heavy line here. Nice. Now, and a heavy line over here. And in here too, I think. The heads are raised a bit. So you can see where the sun is. See, here's the sun. Happy sun. Putting a shadow down here. Yeah, it could be on some grass or some roughness, so I'm just going to make it look like it's grass or something like that there. So it's uneven ground. But here, as it comes in closer, it gets darker. Press hard. A few more bits of grass kicking around here. Now, the shadow's coming down here, it's coming around here like this. And here. I'll do some rocks and things like that here too. Big rock there. Rocks and grasses. I'll shadow the rock. So I get too carried away with that stuff. Bit of shadow there. Okay. A lot of realism comes in just putting in shadows in places. Shadow on that coil. That coil's heavy shadow, so I'm pressing harder. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over these bits that I've already coloured in with a thick heavy crosshatch like this. And darken the edges of this up a little bit too. So darken up the edge, crosshatch in the centre. Darken the edge, crosshatch. Here, I'm just going to do a gentle crosshatch there. So I'm making all the darkness which is in the shadows really stand out. Darken that shadow, well, not shadow, pattern, but it is in the shadow. So you can see where I can originally put that spine line, still there. Press hard. That cross hatching looks a little bit like scales. Darken the outline. So this is interesting. From here to here there's a crossover. This goes into the light, so I'm going to just a light and a gentle cross hatching here in the light. The same cross hatching comes heavy down here. And still go around the edge heavy. So always look at where our happy little sun is. Give you a clue as to where to put the lighting on this. You don't have to draw this sun, by the way, you just got to imagine that it's there. Because if you're looking at drawing a cool, awesome snake, you might not want a cartoon sun in the sky, I don't know. Okay, bit of shade there, go over this, cross hatch there, oops, that's off cross, have I cross hatched the right spot? Yes, I have. Here, it's going to make it almost black. I have done the wrong. Have I? Hang on. I'm confused now. I'll make it work. We'll make it work. Yes, I should have done those dark and those light, but anyway, it's still going to work. Sorry for those who follow my every step here, I've led you astray. But when you're drawing with a pencil, there is no Control Z or Control Z. We call it Control Z here in Australia. There's no Control Z, you just got to try and make do with what you've got. Okay, so far looking okay. I'm going to, how am I going to fix this? I'm going to do a pattern like that. And crosshatch. Does that make sense? Or have I completely ruined this? Yeah, it's okay. So, crosshatch here. So where the black of the pattern comes into the sun, gentle crosshatch. fun bit of this is some bits are just going to remain white. Okay, so this bit here that's in the sun, gentle crosshatch. To show it's the black bit, or rather the really dark browny bit, but it's in the sunlight, so it's very, when you're doing black and white, just a grey tone. It's not too bad. Same here. Oh, some more hatching to do here. Now where it might get a bit confusing, these bits here which are really light, we need a really gentle crosshatch, and I'm not going to make it touch the black. It's going to be so gentle. I'm just very gently touching that like that. So it's just got a little bit of shade. You probably put the shade a little bit heavier as we get down to the base. Not at all there. So very light. As I touch here, I might go a little bit heavier. Light up here. Heavier down there. We don't want to lose the pattern, but we want to make it look like light's shining on there. A little bit heavier there, a little bit lighter up here, heavier down here, lighter up here. It's working well. Light cross hatching. It's very similar to Copperhead one that I've just done recently. This one's probably a little bit more complicated. If you wanted to go and check out how to draw a Copperhead, which I'll leave a link in the description, that's a fairly easy to follow one. Probably worth doing that before you do this one, really. However, if you got this far, like I say, I go too fast, pause the video, catch up. Here, I'm just going to do very, very gentle cross hatching down the bottom here. Almost done the body. Gentle cross hatching. Almost up to the head. I might just strengthen that line without making it too thick. And let's look at this head. So definitely going to put some heavy cross hatching here. Shade it in even, and under here. Heavy line under here. Might shadow a bit there. And here, and do some scales here, bottom lip scales, which sort of go into a bit of cross hatching here. Now some upper lip scales, which are quite big really. And shading a bit here. And cross hatching a bit there. Going to put just a little dip there, dipping his upper lip for the tongue to flicker out. There's probably a nose here somewhere. Gentle shade there. Cross-hatch a bit harder here. Gentle cross-hatching up the top there. Gentle cross-hatching here. Now, we're going to, just, I almost did a rounded W, just a little wiggly line there, shading in the bottom. So the reason for the wiggly line is because this is all shining like a mirror, and so it's got like the sky and some of the trees reflected in the eye like that. That's just about our ball python. Yeah, that's just about it. I don't know if we need to do any more. Might need to do a little bit of shading here, I think. Let's have a look at him. It's looking pretty good. I think that could probably be softened a bit. And just a defining line here. I think there is our ball python. So that's how to draw a ball python. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Check out some of my other videos. I have lots of videos on how to draw snakes, even how to draw their belly scales and their tongues. So check out these videos.